unfortunately, in the last, I'd say, 30 years, we've seen a constant attack upon this institution.
I would like to delve in directly to the subject and tell me, what do you think are the Western pillars of the Judeo-Christian civilization?
Well, many philosophers and historians have tried to pin down, as it were, the identity of the West by looking at different institutions, for instance, like the family. Obviously, we in the West have been shaped by the Judeo tradition, by the Judaic tradition, I mean by the Hebrew tradition. We were taught by our ancestors to respect the family because it's the place where life takes place, right? So in order to preserve the sanctity of human life, you have to preserve the sanctity of the human family by and large, and of the Christian family in particular. So family is an important, sacrosanct even institution which the West has built upon. Having kids, taking the discipline of parenting, being obedient to your mom and to your father, listening to the stories of your grandparents was always very important. Passing on the values from one generation to another is a fundamental act of, I would say, human discipline. On the other hand, apart from the family, you've got, I would say, the church or the community of love, which is built around the gospel of Jesus Christ. I mean, we may have different approaches to, how do you define this gospel, or how do you experience the gospel, or how do you explain it? But fundamentally, in the West, we recognize the church as that part of our experience in which both the rich and the poor can partake. And unfortunately, in the last, I'd say, 30 years, we've seen a constant attack upon this institution. Revelations about the corruption that's taking place inside were perhaps helpful in order to purge.
Who is attacking our society?
I mean, I think, honestly, there are enemies from within and enemies from the outside. You've got the secularists, and there are those who believe that God is not alive or doesn't exist, or God doesn't mean anything. And they truly believe we should replace the church with perhaps different NGOs or other such bodies that will consume our energy and our efforts into a new direction, and that will not be a direction that perhaps transcends our material world, but on the contrary, it will be a direction in which we only see the material world.